Alright, so this is a tomato review on the Campari tomato. Now, just so we're clear, there are certain varieties of tomatoes that have subspecies nomenclatures, or subspecies type of names that they give it, and some of them are known as beefsteak, slicer tomatoes, big boy is one of them, cherry tomatoes another, grape tomato, and it kind of isolates the type of tomato style and variety is what they do. Well, one of those species nomenclatures, or whatever you want to call it, is called the Campari. That's a very common name for this type of tomato. I believe it's actually a species name. It's not even like a slang or anything. It's actually a species name. And a Campari tomato generally consists of these globe-shaped and globe-sized tomatoes. Now, they're much bigger than a cherry tomato, and they're absolutely gorgeous tomatoes to grow. They are considered a it's not really considered a slicer. It's kind of in between a cherry tomato and a slicer tomato. Which a slicer, when I say slicer, I'm referring to tomatoes like this size. Not beefsteak, but like what you would slice up and put on a hamburger or a sandwich. So it's not really that. This is like a little bit between it. It's kind of smaller than that, but it's bigger than a cherry tomato. So Campari kind of falls right into that. This is a very common tomato that a lot of restaurants use in salads and stuff like that, because you get a good amount of these tomatoes for the price you pay, and they taste absolutely awesome. They're very, very good tasting tomatoes. I'm a very big fan of Campari tomatoes. I have made sauce with these tomatoes, and they make a fabulous tomato sauce. They make a very, very fabulous tomato sauce. So, but anyway, I just kind of want to show you what the leaf looks like. And what they look like on a bract. Here's a bract right there. And this tomato produced very well considering the conditions that it was under, between the heat and the 14 inches of rain we had for nonstop for 3 weeks with no sun. Most of my other tomato plants just withered up and pretty much died after that. Whereas this one's still going and still producing. It seems to be pretty good. It is getting hit with the late blight, but it's trying to fight it back. So I don't know if it'll make it or not, but it's loaded with tomatoes, so I should get some more tomatoes out of that. But I just wanted to show you what it looked like on the plant and the leaf type, and then we'll go over all the details at the bench. So I'll see you there. Okay, so this is a tomato review on the Campari tomato. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. Standard Solanum lycopersicum tomato. It's a Campari tomato, which is not a cherry tomato, and it's not a regular slicer tomato. It's in between a cherry and a slicer. It's also known as a globe tomato. So this is a type of tomato in its own world, okay? So just we're clear on that. It's not a cherry tomato, and it's not a regular sized tomato. It's just basically a globe tomato, some people call them, or an extra large cherry is another name. But it's known as a Campari tomato. So this tomato I bought from the store because usually during the winter months I usually have to buy my own tomatoes, and when I have to buy my own tomatoes, I usually prefer to buy Campari tomatoes, and I kind of experiment with some of the other cherry tomatoes, but usually I buy the Campari because they are the best tasting tomatoes, especially for any kind of an Italian dish, pizzas, lasagnas, anything like you're going to use it for that. They work fantastic for that. So making sauce with these are very good. I do like to make sauce with them, and I also like to make soup and juice. So they're a great tomato to eat, and give them a go. Now, again, this is store-bought variety of Campari tomato. So what else do I know about this? Solanum lycopersicum. It's an indeterminate tomato, and it's also a regular leaf tomato. So I still have the plants going strong, so it's got to be indeterminate. Most of my determinate tomatoes are pretty much withered away and dying at this point. So this one is definitely a indeterminate. And let me give you a look. I don't want to focus if I get too close because I'm focused zoomed all the way in. Try to zoom you out a little. We can get you in there a little closer. It's a beautiful tomato. I mean, you got to do something during the winter, guys. Now, I am considering some other options, growing Tiny Tims and some of the Dwarf tomatoes and all these other Micro Tom. There's all these really tiny tomato varieties. I can actually grow those indoors. So I am considering doing that maybe through the winter months. But these tomatoes do suffice in the winter when I can't grow my own tomatoes. And they're basically pretty good eating tomatoes. A lot of times I recommend you buy them and let them sit on your counter for about a day or two. You know, just let them ripen up a little bit more. They become really awesome, but at some point you do got to refrigerate them. But let's give it a taste test. Oh, here, let me do the bricks. Let me do the bricks. Always forget the bricks. 7.5, almost 8 though. Very close to 8, which means it's going to be a pretty good balance, sweet and everything else wise. So let's give it a go. Not bad at all. The inside was very soft and juicy. The skins were really tough on it. It could be because I would let all the tomatoes sit on there extra long so I could get a whole bunch to put on my table to show you for presentation. Normally I pick them off. As soon as I start seeing them go red, boom, I pick them. You don't want to leave them. As soon as they look red and are ripe enough, pick them and eat them. Either you're going to make your salad or eat them fresh. Don't let them sit on the vine. The only reason why I'm letting them sit on the vine is because I need them for presentation, so I need a large sum at once, you know. But normally I would tell you pick them right away because they're going to get damaged. In fact, this one right here, I'm trying to block the camera. If you could see that right there, that's bird damage. The birds are coming down attacking my tomatoes. So you got to eat them right away. You know, if it wasn't for the fact that I was doing these videos, I would never leave my tomatoes on a plant that long. Never. You're asking for trouble if you do that. Like I said, it's got a nice balance. I'm going to say the sweetness was about 30. Tangy was maybe like 32. So it was a little bit tangier than the sweetness, but still a great balance. Skins were really, really tough though. I mean, the skins were really getting stuck in my mouth and stuck on the roof of my mouth. That's really annoying. You got to pick it out of there because it just doesn't want to come off the roof of your mouth. It just stays there and gets stuck. But it's just really annoying when it does that. But other than that, it's a fantastic tomato. I'd say if you go to the store and you see the tomato, it says Campari, buy those tomatoes. They're a good tomato, a good alternative to cherry tomatoes. They're a good alternative to slicing tomatoes. And if that's all you can get during the winter, that's usually your best tasting tomato because the other ones are absolutely awful. I can't eat store-bought tomatoes anymore. They make me sick. I can't eat them. They're just disgusting to me. I try to eat them. I buy them every year. I always give them a go. I'll give them a go and I eat them. It's like, dude, I can't eat this. It's a 3-chambered tomato too. It's not a bi-chambered. It's just a tri-chambered. If you could see that. Fantastic tomato, guys. I don't know what to say. I mean, if that's all you can get from the store, give these a try. I'm not going to offer seed for these. At least I don't think so. Maybe I will. Because you can get Campari tomatoes in many different brands. It's not proprietary. So maybe I'll offer seeds for the Campari. But if you can't get them, if you don't see them in your store and you want to know where to get them, well, you can buy them from my website. But that's it. It's a fantastic tomato. Give them a grow. If you see them, save a couple seeds from them. Give them a grow. You'll love them. All right? So that was your tomato review for the Campari tomato. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.